Right, how you all doing? Ain't day again, Ali. The grass is always greener. Unless it turns out it's in your drains. I'm glad the workman didn't show yesterday. Because I guess it was either just late or miscommunication. Because he came around today. And my God, if he'd have come round, let's say he was doing the afternoon, that'd have been a rush job. Because when he came around today, some pretty hardcore work went on, and did a cracking job. Don't know, well, realistically it hasn't fixed our problem, but it's a temporary fix, it's a band-aid fix. So the workman was I don't know, it seems really cheap to say plumber, to be honest, because I don't see many plumbers rocking around with pressure jets, camera systems, all that kind of stuff. We've got bad drainage in this house. When we first moved here years and years and years ago, the drain collapsed, and there is actually no access to our main drain. So pretty much, well, nothing was going anywhere. Anything and everything that you could imagine that would need to flow from this house into a drain was going nowhere. And well, it started to become a problem again. The agency and the landlady had a right old mission on their hands to try and solve this issue back in the day, and they put in what is effectively a stent. Like if like a heart stent, is where they kind of push in a thing that holds open like a tube, and they put a lining in to the pipe. Now, they initially said, when they described it to us, that the way they would do it would cause the pipe, so the pipe would drop, so imagine there's a piece here, and then on the opposite side there's a piece here, and it's just kind of dropped a bit on one side. And that cut was my phone saying it had run out of space. I'll get to that in the minute, okay? I've been doing file organizing files, god damn it. Yeah, so the pipe had dropped, and so they said they were going to put this debris through the pipe to try and lift it and then fill it, put in like a resin lining to keep it at that place. Instead, what has happened, and well, what was most likely to happen anyway, was that the lining was put in, because obviously if you put a lining in something, imagine it's that thick, well, where you put the lining in, it's going to be a little bit narrower, isn't it? Well, they didn't do anything to remedy the drop, so the pipe went like that, then down a bit like that, and then like that, and they've just put a lining in to make that gap not a thing, but the dip is still there, and it's a thinner pipe. So, or it's now thinner, so absolute nightmare. I saw the joys of the camera, and when the camera went down there, so when the issue first happened, it looked like it might have been roots or something that had caused the pipe to drop. Well, today we saw on camera we practically had a small forest growing in our drain. The grass is always greener unless it's in your drain. But see, we don't have a drain cover, which is interesting. There's a drain cover, not one but one over, and there's one that way. And we found today, through the workman, who I'm sure I've seen before, actually, it might have been the same guy that came around the first time we had the drain drop issue with the camera and that, who tried to help the landlady and the agency sort this stuff out. He wasn't the one that did the resin job. But yeah, I swear it must have been the same guy, because there aren't actually that many people in this area with that kind of equipment. But the camera shoe what was effectively a forest. Just like back in the day, there's just no end of roots and all that down the drain. And it just goes from our house into the main drain. So there's a pipe obviously running underneath our houses, which will go all the way down the street to the main drain. We don't have a manhole cover, so we just, everything that comes out of this house, everything that exits the house just drops into the drain. That means that you can't realistically do anything to our pipes from outside because of the way it drops into the main drain. You'd have to kind of go in through a cover, along, and then somehow back up and round. And that's not really a thing. So he showed us the stuff. He managed to water jet it and everything and just get it sorted, because he couldn't get into a main drain. He had to do it from in the house. So it was a hell of a lot of work for him to do today. And like I say, I'm glad that he did it today rather than try to do it last night, because he did a fantastic job. That was him and, funny enough, actually, his wife. And I mean, they cleaned up, took everything apart, cameraed it, cleared it, and then cleaned it. A whole lot. It was really rad, but that was a good few hours. And they did a great job, but we guesstimate, we figure that the drain probably comes up there. So behind, well, actually, funny enough, actually, see what that tree is there? All right, there's the mini studio, the textiles room, as it were, and then there's a gap between there and the neighbour's brick there. We've got a feeling that's where the drain's going to be. If that's the case, that's going to be a nightmare for repair. Absolute nightmare for repair. Because that isn't what was here when we first moved in. That's what the landlady put in after the other one had to come down. The original construction that was there had to come down, and she put that in place to be able to get down that gap if the drain had to be done. So it's figured that the best bet is you'd have to dig up and then put in a new section of drain. And well, as I say, it's behind there, look. You should just be able to see the gap between the wall, and it's probably only about, I don't know, finger to wrist, or probably not even finger to red band. It's only about, what, 1.5 meters-ish from the back wall, and it goes towards that brick wall and then out. So it has to be behind here, because the neighbour's drain was probably there-ish, then under, so it'll be by that. Oh, it's going to be a nightmare. But it's been recommended potentially that we have it dug and have the drain replaced, and then potentially, maybe possibly, have a manhole cover actually put in if that's an option, just so this kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore. Because the landlady, well, it's going to be costing her a fortune if she has to keep on paying for people to come out to sort out the drains and all that around here, because they ain't good. They haven't been good for 8 years. It's always goddamn something. I mean, when the guy said 1,000 for the job, so I changed the piping and all that and potentially put a manhole in, I kind of cringed a bit. And so, in so many words, 1,000's really nothing these days, you know? He went through some of his business expenses, like how much he has to pay to keep his vans up and running, when he's getting fittings and fixtures and all that kind of stuff. I was like, Jesus Christ. And then I was like, if this was a good few years back, I'd have shrugged off $1,000, no problems. You know, I'd have laughed off 1,000. But these days, you know, I'll go, if I've got 2 pennies to rub together, I'm pretty happy. And so, what did you used to do? And so I reeled off a stack of the things that I've done over the years. And he said, "Oh, you should have stuck with some of those, man, because you'd have really been raking it in." And I said, "Yeah, I'd have loved to, but life doesn't always, it doesn't allow you to keep doing those things. Life doesn't always give you those opportunities." You know, I said, in one of the cases, I got hurt, and I couldn't do it anymore. And he's like, "Yeah, life has a way. It always surprises you, doesn't it? You know, you think you've got what you want and you got it going, and that just curveball comes out of nowhere." That was actually a nice chat, to be honest, which is why I kind of rock on the grass is always greener thing, because it's mental actually. Doing things in the UK now is really, really, really expensive. And for what? Like, really, for what? I don't want to try and put people off from coming to the UK, but this place sucks balls. I know people on a lot of money who struggle to be able to afford to buy a house. Rent is like more than a mortgage, or getting that way. It's just, oh mate, it's absolutely the mental. Well, we've got the NHS, except you've got massive waiting lists if you need to have anything serious done on the NHS. So that's probably not even a bonus. Oh mate, Bing's not long. Well, I say not long. He's been back from Vietnam for a fair while, and he way prefers places like Vietnam and all that to being back here. And I probably agree with him. The trouble is, I can't fly, so now. Oh god, has that failed? As motherfucker. Okay, so phone running out of space. I've been transferring files today. I knew I weren't going to be able to do a lot today because we were going to be waiting for the workman, which was actually kind of silly because we stayed up until about 4:30-ish, no, maybe 3, I don't know, playing Monster Hunter. Me, Divine, the wife, and Dark Rider all got in, and we got most of the way through HR6 and HR7, I think. We might have only got through HR7, but we're getting there. They're right near the end of the game, getting them gear and all that kind of stuff. It was a good laugh. And I figured, you know, as I say, because I weren't going to be able to do a whole lot today, that I would organise some files. So I would sort out like silly bits of vlog footage, random stuff I've got on my phone, random stuff I've got on my laptop, some stuff that needs to go into archival, some stuff that can just be binned. And it's like, I've got somewhere over 300 files, 600 to 900 gigs. And it's just, but it's going to take a while to go through, because I'm certain a lot of it is already in archival, but I'm pulling it down off of a server so I can then clear the server, and then I will double check the stuff from my local drive and on another server on another drive, just to be the sure. I wanted the first server, the first drive, to be clear so that I could then dump files on it when needed. So that looks like I'm probably going to have to wire up, because because I don't have a Wi-Fi at the moment. Don't do big transfers over Wi-Fi, stupid, but it looks like that's timed out. So I'm going to have to hook up and get a more stable connection in over the wire. Do that. That'll take a while, but you know, it's a weekend off. I've got really nothing else to do, so we'll get that done. I was also going to be playing some Fantasy Star Online 2 with Divine and Zaber tonight, but I think that I need to do the file transfer thing. I can actually probably do the file transfer overnight and maybe play some games. I don't know as yet, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I might as well actually go to bed, to be honest with you, because I feel proper blitzed. Everyone is blitzed. The wife is out cold. The other day we changed mattresses on the kids' beds. So the eldest got a new mattress, the youngest got a new mattress, and we've just sorted out a mattress for a day bed in the front room for when we have guests come around. They can sleep on a proper mattress. They're now shampooing carpets and, you know, just hoovering and pottering and cleaning and all that kind of stuff. And we got a box come through with a delivery for, I think it's my youngest son, one of my youngest son's birthday presents. It wasn't until later on in the year, but it's probably like, I don't know, like that long, but the box, like I could get in the box and sit in the box. It was fucking huge. And there was nothing in it, just this one box. And then it was just dead space. You could get in it yourself with the packaging in it and the thing that was shipped. And my oldest son has crashed. He's sick again. So we're going to have a right old time. So they've now started their school holidays, and it's just every single time we have a school holiday and he gets to relax, he just drops to the floor, man. So, but I think I'm going to head off. It's probably a lot longer than it needed to be. Man, the cost of living these days. Oh, it is, isn't it? My graphics card in my PC cost a small fortune. Everything's so expensive. And getting more and more expensive as time goes on. Hope you're well. I think that's everything, and I'll see you all with a bit of luck in the next one. Cross your fingers I actually get these fucking files transferred over, because I'm going to... Oh, I was going to say I'm going to pull my hair up, but that's already gone.